Hey everybody, it's Jase with Marshall Made Collectibles, and today we're doing a review and unboxing. And today what we have in front of us is the Freddy Krueger quarter scale premium format figure from Sideshow Collectibles. They call it a figure, but it's more or less a statue, but because it has mixed media like a real sweater, real pants, things like that, they call it a figure, even though he's not posable. Now there was two versions of this figure. There was an exclusive and the regular edition. What we have in front of us is the regular. It's not that I didn't want the exclusive is no longer available, but the only difference is in his left hand, he has a switch out hand option. The regular and the exclusive, both he's holding a skull, and if you're familiar with the movies, the significance of that is he's actually holding his own skull. It's the skull of Freddy Krueger, where he'd been burnt alive by the parents that killed him. In the exclusive, what he's holding is he has a switch out hand, which he's holding like a little hand of souls, which is odd because the souls and everything that were trapped in Freddy they appear on his chest where he opens up his sweater and you can see him coming through his skin, for you horror buffs out there. The exclusive is neat, but from far away, it does not look like he's holding a little swirl of green souls. It looks like he's holding a little potted plant, which is kind of funny, and it kind of got panned on the board. So for me, even though I would have liked to have the exclusive, 9 times out of 10, the way I'm going to pose him would have been with the skull. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. I know this is not a new figure by any means. This came out, I believe, a little over a year ago. It's new to our shop. In fact, we just got this in. We got it for a really good deal. And I'm going to probably be keeping this one. Now, a lot of stuff that comes in here gets resold after reviews and what have you, but this will go into my horror collection. And we were lucky enough to get edition number 3. Not that numbers mean that much, but there was 1,200 of these made, and this is number 3 of 1,200. So that's kind of a low edition number on this as well. Anyway, the art box is really, really nice. Not a ton of writing on it, not a lot of legalese or anything like that. On the front, you got a really nice picture of the statue or the premium format figure, and it says Freddy Krueger. You have an actual picture of the figure here. It says premium format down below. Kind of have like this red and black motif, and if you look really close, you can see like the pipes and stuff like that, like he's down in his boiler room. You turn it on this side, and again, you have like a red smoky haze, and again, it's more of that boiler room motif. It almost gets lost. If you're not paying attention, you don't see it. And on the back, we have a broader picture of Freddy, and it's so dark, actually from his pants down, you don't see pretty much anything. You just see the sweater, you see Freddy, the hand outstretched, him holding the skull, sideshow.com. And again, on this side, nothing. So it's really an art box that sells the statue inside. There's not a lot of anything else. And on the top, all it says is Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not going to tip it over because this sucker's so big, and I have the camera back so far so I can get this all into the screen. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take a break. I'm going to start to open it up, and in between I'll take pictures of the styrofoam insert and how he's laid there in parts and stuff like that, because people are interested on how they're packed and how well they're packed. So hang on one second and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, we just went through some pictures of the unboxing process of how he was packed and what all comes with the regular edition. The little pipe valves, the wheels, one goes here, and the other one goes on this back side, and those are nicely weathered and detailed. And we'll go over the base more in a minute because there's scenes from all the movies. Actually, it's from the Dream Warriors, the different scenes that you see there. There's not a lot to go over with this figure, but what there is here is outstanding. First, I'll go from we'll go from foot to head. He's got his workman's boots. They're done correctly. I've seen a lot of Freddy figures come and they almost look like he's wearing combat boots, and he's not. Detailing and weathering on them is really good, and that's all in the sculpt. You even got like a little hole and worn area on the side there. Paint apps are really nice and tight. The laces look good. It looks like he's wearing actual shoes. The pants themselves are like a black, like a cotton material. Mine are heavily wrinkled just the way they were in the box. I'm thinking about doing the brush water to take some of the wrinkles out. I don't want them completely wrinkle free because I don't think Freddy Krueger pressed his pants, but they might be a little too wrinkled, like right around the cuffs and everything like that. And the trick is you just wet these with like regular tap water. You pull them and stretch them in the areas that you want the wrinkles to disappear, and as they dry, it'll be fine. The sweater looks gorgeous. Now, I know some people complain that the stripes are not green enough, but in some of the earlier Freddy movies, the stripes almost do come off of a muted black, kind of brownish color. So I think they're kind of movie accurate. They could maybe be a tad bit greener, but I'm very pleased with how they turned out and looked. You'll see the close-up pictures at the very end. I'll do some 4K pictures at the end of all the close-up details, but the skull looks amazing. Even the jaw is a little off-kiltered, so it doesn't look like it's a perfect skull. It looks like something that has been charred in a furnace. Looks really good. A lot of like gore and bits, that it doesn't look like a clean skull. It looks like a skull that skin has been seared and melted onto. Very gruesome, really well detailed, well sculpted. Love the gloved hand. These blades are metal that are on here. The detailing is really intricate. There's even stitching done around it in the sculpt. Love the way it looks. And going back to this hand, there's even the nail detail, which is amazing. And plus this one has got more sculpted detail because it's a burnt hand, so it looks really good. And finally, the Freddy sculpt and the hat it's top-notch. It's Robert Englund. The only thing I can criticize about this, and some people have said on some of the other forums, is that they painted his eyes brown. And Robert Englund doesn't have like blue eyes, but they are more of like a bluish green. They're not brown. So that's the only thing I can really fault it on. Other than that, it's beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous. The paint work is top-notch. The burnt bits look like burnt bits. He looks like he's wet and gooey. It's the only thing I can say. And the hat is really nicely detailed. It's not one shade of brown. You've got some lighter shades. You've got some darker shades. It looks like a dirty old fedora hat. Indiana Jones would be proud to be wearing that. Looks really, really good, and it fits Krueger perfectly because if this is the Dream Warriors, which judging by the base it is, he didn't have a hat band in that. Now that's some something of contention between fans, and it's true. Like the very first movie, I believe the hat did have a hat band, and I think even in the second one he may have had a hat band, but in the third one he did not have a hat band. And it just kind of goes back and forth. Again, it all depends on which movies that you prefer. Like my favorite one is the very first one, but if it was going to be that one, then the sleeves would be solid red and want to be stripes on it. And then my second favorite one would be the Dream Warriors movie, which brought back Nancy. The second movie, I don't know what they were doing with that one, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, really love it. It's an awesome representation of Freddy Krueger, probably one of the best in a statue or mixed media format. And I really even love like the NECA quarter scale, but you see those joints on the elbows and knees when you look at like a NECA thing, because it is just basically a big figure. This is absolutely stunning to look at. and will be a highlight of my horror collection. In fact, I'll put him in the center and have my horror figures around him. Now, going to the base, and what we're going to do is let's get closer so I can show you the different scenes that are on here. Okay, now what I've done is I've gone close up on the base. And what they have smartly done is recreate different scenes, or murder scenes. Well, not exactly murder scenes, because one of them's not. But they've recreated different scenes from Dream Warriors, where he attacked the different the kids, the last of the Elm Street kids. And in the first one, you have when he's the big snake and he's swallowing the Arquette girl, or Patricia Arquette, I think that's who it is that plays her. The next scene over, you have the kid that made the puppets, and he's got all his tendons coming out of his wrists and feet, where Freddy was controlling him. Next is the girl that was in the TV room that wanted to go to Hollywood and be a movie star, where that famous line, "Welcome to primetime, bitch," that's there. And the last one is the intravenous drug user girl, and Freddy has his glove turned into the needles, and where he attacks her. But all these are like massively sculpted, detailed, and done really, really well. I love when they go through the extra effort and do this kind of detail on a base, where it's just not something that the figure is sitting on. It actually it tells the story. And I mean, like, you can see Freddy's hand in there sculpted. That is just amazing, the amount of effort. And in fact, you see Freddy's head up on the top of the TV set, and the arms getting ready to grab the girl before he smashes her into the set. So I love the amount of work and extra effort that they went into this, that it's not just a plain block that the format figure is sitting on top of. They really went above and beyond, and it's beautiful. It's gruesome because they're all like death scenes, but it is beautifully done. Now, getting up higher, what I'll do here is just wanted to show you more of the base and the weathering, and you've got all these like copper pipes and fittings, and it just, this is completely clean. It was just taken out. There's not dust or anything, but it's painted to look like it is grimy as hell, that there's stuff over. Almost like if you felt like you rubbed your finger over this, you would need a tetanus shot. It is done that well, and it's just really nicely sculpted. Again, instead of just being a black base or something plain, a lot of effort and detail just went into this sculpt, just to have this stuff look like corroded pipe, like boiler pipe and everything. And it's just, I'm stunned the amount of effort that they did in this. It really makes me sorry I missed the Friday the 13th Jason figure, because they did a base that was similar to this. Of course, it wasn't the pipes, because that's totally Freddy in the boiler room, but it was the Camp Crystal Lake, where it was the different scenes from, I believe, Friday the 13th 3, from like his different kills. And I am regretting it massively not picking that up, because I would have loved to have had that as well. And even though we have photos in 4K, I thought we'd do some close-ups of the skull, just so you can see how detailed it is. And see all that detail in the nails. Looks amazing. And see, it's not just like a clean skull. It's like it's got charred bits, like where it's been cooked down. Very gruesome. And for the iconic glove, I think we're just going to go ahead and take it off and move it around so you can see all the detail on those metal blades. And they all have like a patina finish where they just look dirty. See the scarred hand on the inside. The leather on the gloves. Even has like a little black trim around the edge. My thumb is in the way. There you go. brass finish there, like a metal plate, and then like the copper fingers. Really nicely painted and detailed. And everything is held in magnetically. So just pop that back in place. Adjust the sleeve. And then he's ready to display. Okay, now let's do a close-up of that face. Now, completely what makes or breaks something like this is that head sculpt, and they just nailed it. Like I said, the only thing would be the eye color, but honestly, that's not bothering me at all. The dynamic pose of the head, where he's not just straight up, he is stretching out. That detail. Just a gorgeous sculpt. And like I said, you can see in the detail of all these little areas where the skin has melted away, and you see the muscle and sinew. It all looks wet. Just beautiful, beautiful work. Sideshow really went the distance on this. And I got to admit, I have the Sideshow 6 scale Freddy figure, the Jason figure. All their horror figures that they've done have been outstanding. I really wish they would do a quarter scale Michael Myers. That would be insane. There's one coming out from like Pulp Culture Shock Toys or whatever, but it's a third quarter statue, or 1/3 scale. And they're wanting like $1,000 for it, so that is not even something that will be on my radar. Beautiful piece. Well, that about wraps up my review. If you hang back, I will have some HD photos at the end of this piece, and I gotta say, I'm just in love with it. I think it's a great Freddy Krueger piece. I think it's a great horror piece. It would look good in a figure collection. It would look good even if you had a media or TV room. What's crazy is this figure has been out, I think, over a year. Sideshow still has these available up at their website. Seriously. So if you're interested and you're even considering it, I would go over there, check it out. I think they have a code like Nightmare10, and you can get 10% off and free shipping within the United States. Anyway, that wraps up my review. Hope you liked it. Hang back at the end, and I'll have some HD photos of Freddy here so you can see him in all his glory. If you're new to our channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. We are a new and young channel, and subscribers mean the world to us. And we're trying to put out new content every month, and having the extra subscribers definitely helps in that. So we appreciate you being here. If you have anybody that you know that might enjoy our channel, please send them our way. We would truly appreciate it. And again, this is Jase for Marshall Made Collectibles. I thank you for watching, and take care.